I'm Zoe. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about some of the shows that I have watched recently. Alright, we're gonna start this off strong with Heartstopper. So, this is the Netflix adaptation of the graphic novel series by Alice Oseman, which I adore. Totally recommend. If you have not checked out Heartstopper, the actual graphic novel, you should definitely check it out. This is about two boys in well, I guess do they call it they don't call it high school over there. What is it called? I don't know, but they're in high school equivalent. These two boys, they kind of roll in different cliques. We have Nick, who is more of the athlete, and then Charlie, who is very artistic and just shy, and they end up sitting next to each other in class, which sparks off some friendship, which sparks off some feelings, and it's just really cute watching them not only navigate high school, but also navigating their feelings and getting closer as friends, and then, you know, discovering new parts of themselves. And I think that the show just did a really amazing job of bringing this story to life, bringing the characters to life. The casting was just so good across the board. I think the only character who I ended up hating more than I expected to was Tao. First of all, I hated Tao's hair. The hair was a crime, and I also just hated how in everyone's business he was. I know that Tao was already kind of like that, but I feel like they just amped it up so many levels in this show that wasn't necessary, because sometimes I was just like, Tao, can you chill? Like, what is going on here? I have no idea why I ordered the shows like this. So listen, hear me out. I am not a Kardashians girly. I used to be. Back in the day when the show first started, I religiously watched this show. Every Sunday I was tuned in to to watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I was there. But eventually, somewhere along the way, I got sick of all the cultural appropriation. I got sick of all of the vagueness about body image. The different storylines just felt repetitive. I don't know what Chris did, but for some reason the switch to Hulu totally motivated me, first of all, to start up my Hulu subscription again. Well, I got it in the bundle pack with Disney Plus. That's just a technicality. I watched religiously every week. I don't know how I got here, how we've come back full circle, but something about the show this time around just felt like a breath of fresh air. I actually am a fan of how they filmed it. I know that some of the scenes, they have been like more caught on for like, oh, they kind of added these scenes later, but considering what happened at the end of last year, especially in Kylie's world, you can kind of imagine why certain storylines probably were quickly cut. For season 2, I definitely want less Courtney and Travis, because I have never been so turned off by a very PDA couple. I've never, like, I was like, okay, this is extreme. Still, overall, I really enjoyed the show. I can't wait for season 2. I'm really excited to see Courtney and Travis's wedding. That's about all the capacity of those two that I really want to see content-wise next season, but I would also love to see more Kylie. I feel like she was just hardly there. I would love something different from Kendall. The storylines that they gave her, the health thing was weird. Because I still would never associate her with health. I don't know if she's coming out with like a health product or something, or she's doing some type of brand deal with a health thing, and that's why they pushed health so much this season, tried to give that to be her image, but it was weird. I didn't really buy it. Would just love to see more of her just chilling and hanging out with friends and just being, I don't know. I'm embarrassed. Don't talk to me about it. Don't talk to me. Thankfully, had the mind to start watching Criminal Minds again. It is on Netflix. Well, it was on Netflix, because as of the end of June, it is no longer going to be on Netflix. So thankfully, I got the ball rolling on that. Criminal Minds is about like these FBI agents, and they, it's called the BAU, Behavioral Analysis Unit. It took a very long time, many months of this first half of the year, and now I have finished, and it's just a really good show. I don't know, I like watching shows like this. I know that it is like, you know, I love the cast, I love the dynamics, I love the stories that they do. I love the way that it's filmed. Just everything about it is just so good. And especially those earlier seasons, I think they are really, really, really great. There is only one pairing that I really truly ship out of this show. One day we will discuss it. Maybe when I do my favorite ships, couples, or whatever part 2, we'll talk about it. We'll get into it because I think it's a crime that this pairing did not end up being endgame. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't add up. Anyway, I have also been really obsessed with watching dating shows. For some reason, I don't know, every single time one pops up, I'm tuned in. I am seated and ready to go, and I will binge watch the whole thing in one night. Doesn't matter what time I start watching it, I will binge watch the whole thing. So this time around, I have been really into Are You the One? It's this show where they have like 20 people, 10 guys, 10 girls, I'm pretty sure, and you have to guess who your perfect pair is, and they have to manage to get every single pair right to win $1 million. And I don't know, it's always a ride every single time. So much drama. People are like, oh no, we should play with our hearts, and then other people are like, no, we should play with strategy. And I'm always in the camp of, okay, the first 2-3 weeks, sure, you can play with your heart, but after that we need some strategy because I'm making sure I'm getting that money. Though I have yet to see a season where they haven't gotten the money, so I'm pretty sure, I have a theory that the producers end up probably telling them who to pair up with once they get to the last one if they haven't made confirmed matches. Because there's no way. Sometimes it's just like, this is a little too, yeah, no. Ooh, I also watched The Ultimatum. This show was messy and I loved it. The hosts are Vanessa and Nick Lachey, and truthfully, I feel like Vanessa could have held it down by herself. Nick didn't really contribute much in the show. I think that Vanessa had a lot better advice, and I think that she just seemed a lot more engaged in the journey that the couples were taking. She constantly said that like she gave Nick an ultimatum to marry her or bounce, I guess, when they were dating. She kept bringing that up, and I think that's why she connects so well to the show and like why I think she pitched the idea, I'm guessing. So these are people who are dating and they pretty much are like, okay, I want to get married, and the other person doesn't want to get married, and so they're like, this is the ultimatum, either we get married or we break up. And there are many things that I think are talking points about this show. First of all, I wasn't rooting for anybody. I thought it all was messy just in general. Second of all, I know that they were caught changing the ages, making some people younger than they were on this show. I think a few of the girls were made younger than they actually are, which is weird. Totally unnecessary. Some of them were just like 22, 23 years old, and they're already doing this ultimatum thing. I'm like, chill out. Someone who is an older 20-something. I'm just letting you know, you don't need to ultimatum at 22. Are you kidding me? You hardly have graduated college. Trust me, you would not have to do the ultimatum at 22 if you knew. If you know, you know. Throughout the show, they like go through the ultimatum and they're like, da 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 da. They separate the couples and they're like, why don't you date around with some of the other contestants and see if someone else could meet that need. Couples switch up and they get to like live for a few weeks, or maybe it's a month, with the person who they dated around for, and then they go back to the person that they came there with who gave them the ultimatum. I don't know, it's a little confusing. I feel like you would be better explained watching the show. And then the reunion show, oh my gosh. Thank you, Vanessa and Nick, for giving me some mess to watch. I can't wait for the rest of the shows that you guys have cooking up for Netflix. Also tapped into Wedding or Mortgage. So pretty much it's this duo of ladies. One of them is a real estate broker and the other one is a wedding planner, and I guess they have a business together. And so they're like, oh, we're gonna show you some houses and then we're gonna show you a wedding venue and you'll pick if you want the house or you want the wedding. Now listen, I started watching this show while I was doing my hair in the final stretch, and honestly I had to turn it off because everyone was picking the wrong choice. I was not agreeing with them. Sometimes I was like, damn, you really need to take that house. Like, that house is sweet, and the deal they're giving you, like, you aren't gonna get better than that. So and so I just got irritated that they kept picking the opposite one. But I know with shows like this, it's usually already pre-planned. Like, they probably already owned the house, or they already had the venue for the wedding. They just got the show to enhance it. So yeah, but still I was irritated. I tuned in for the season finale of Grey's Anatomy, season, what is it, 19? I have not watched Grey's Anatomy in years. And the only reason why I tuned in was because Jackson and April were coming back to the show. And I shipped them. I ride for Jackson and April. They were my OTP on Grey's Anatomy. Yes, I tuned in. Was it worth it? No, absolutely not. They totally played us. They were in the show for probably a total of 5 minutes. It was not worth tuning in for the whole 2-hour finale to see the tidbits that we did see. But they deserved better. The last time I tuned into Grey's Anatomy was literally when Jackson was leaving the show, the character, and I tuned in because April came back to the show. So yeah, I really only am tuning into Grey's Anatomy for Jackson and April. If Jackson and April were brought back to the show, I feel like I would be so happy, and I would probably tune into Grey's Anatomy again. I used to be a very avid watcher of it, but then they kicked April off the show for no reason. And they kicked Arizona off the show too, which I just, all of that was just so, God. Anyways, next up we have Moon Knight. Now this one, I watch Oscar Isaac and all of his beauty, and so I think that's totally worth it in my eyes. I didn't watch it every single week because I didn't want to. I binge watched all 5 episodes right before the 6th one came out, so then I could tune into the 6th one live. It's just the one season, pretty sure, and it's not connected to any other part of the MCU that we know of so far. I don't think there were any hints or characters from anything else that came in. It was very singular story focused on Moon Knight. And yes, as someone who knew absolutely nothing about Moon Knight before going in, everything was just me intaking the content, so I didn't really get a lot of the surprises like the finale, post-credits and things like that. I didn't get all of the references, so it wasn't as impactful for me, and I feel like it wasn't, you know, but I do still enjoy watching all of these shows and things, even if they are characters that I don't know much about, because it's just nice finding out, I don't know, and then I don't have to actually read the comics to find out about all these characters. I can just watch the show. It's not always accurate, but I enjoy it, okay? We'll keep up with Marvel for a second here because I also watch Ms. Marvel. As I'm filming this, Ms. Marvel is not finished, but it has already aired the first 3 episodes, which means it's halfway through the season, and this show just had so many things against it, even from the beginning. I really love this show as someone who is just enjoying the content as it's presented to me. I'm enjoying it. In preparation for the show, I did read the first volume of the story. I didn't really love her in that first volume, so I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this show. Like, I was already kind of like, I probably shouldn't have read that comic. I tried though, but the show, oh my gosh, Amon totally won me over. I was like, maybe I need to revisit the comic. That's how good she was. I was like, I need to reread it because clearly I wasn't seeing the vision. I wasn't understanding who Kamala was. It was my fault. I just loved everything about the first few episodes of this show. They have just been such a ride. I love the editing style. I love the colors and the vibrancy. I love how she just feels like a teenager. And I mean, I know she is, but like, I just love that. And I love how relatable she is. I love the family aspect of this show. Just, oh, that's my girl. I love her. I don't know. I'm ready. I'm ready. I want more Ms. Marvel. I watched Keep Sweet, which was this documentary on a cult, a religious cult, and it was crazy. It was wild. wow. The number of wives these men had, like, I think they said that one of them died with like 60 something wives. And how many children? Like, what? And I don't know, it's just one of those documentaries that you just have to watch. I can't remember everything about it, so I don't want to say things wrong. I did watch First Kill. This is are they lesbians? Are they bi or are they lesbians? I think they're lesbians. It's this high school drama that deals with a vampire and a vampire hunter, and they like have a bond and they connect and they love each other, and they're two very beautiful girls, even though their families obviously hate each other because like vampire hunter, you know, you get it. Well, she's like a monster hunter, not just vampires. Kind of Romeo and Juliet play right there. And I honestly didn't, I mean, I didn't love this story, to be quite honest. But I got through it. I would totally recommend you to watch it because it is good. Maybe it's because V. Schwab is connected to it. I think that's my problem. I just, oh my gosh, me and V. Schwab just don't connect at all. The Umbrella Academy season 3. So, I finished this in a day. I loved season 2 of Umbrella Academy. Season 1 was a little rocky. I almost didn't finish it, but season 2 was amazing. Season 3, I really just, it kind of left me with a lot of questions. I was kind of confused as to what the point of it was. The Umbrella Academy is about this group of siblings who were adopted by this man, and he's like really rich and powerful, and he like got these kids who have these powers, and they were like a family. They were like a famous family, and they have just a lot of familial problems, but they have to stop the apocalypse, and that's how they come together, and they keep jumping timelines throughout the seasons. So season 3, they're once again met with an apocalypse, and they meet the alternative version of them. Instead of the Umbrella Academy, it is the Sparrow Academy, and it at first seemed very promising, but I feel like the season just kind of lost its way. I don't really know what the point of a lot of it was. I loved 5. 5 is my favorite, my baby. I love him. I love Klaus. Diego and Lila were beautiful. I love them. And Stan, I loved Stan. But overall, I really just thought the season was okay. I'm just gonna say spoilers because whatever. The ending left me very confused. They all have lost their powers, so how are they gonna survive? Like, their powers are very much what keep all of them alive. Especially Klaus. Like, how Klaus is not gonna make it into the first episode of next season. And then 5 is literally a child. So how is he going to like get around in society? Someone's gonna call CPS on him or the equivalent. So I don't really know how that's gonna work out. And like the rest of them, and what is the deal that Allison made? The one thing that I do think that they did really well was introducing Victor. I loved that. I just love that. That's exactly how it should be. It should just be accepted and just move on. Last but not least for this shows I have watched recently is Stranger Things season 4. It was so good. Part 1, so good, so amazing, so many high moments. It's just, I rewatched it. I'm probably gonna rewatch it again before the second part of the season comes out because it was just so good. All of the stories are good. Well, not all of them. The Hawkins team is obviously winning at everything. I love the team. I love everyone who is in it. We have Nancy, we have Eddie, we have Steve, we have Robin, Dustin, Lucas, Erica, Max. Like, perfect team. They are getting shit done. They are finding the answers. They are getting the clues. They are figuring out how to save people. Like this, literally, I love that team. The California team, I really don't know what the point is, the purpose. The only highlight I got from the California team is going to meet Susie and her family, and I think that Susie's family was just really fun, and I loved getting to see them because it was very unexpected, okay? I think the only thing that the California team can contribute at this point is getting Elle and getting back to Hawkins. Then there's the Russia team, which is like Hopper in them. Honestly, I didn't care about this storyline either. I really only like the Hawkins storyline, and I understand that like they have to like cater to everyone being in different places, but I don't know, the Hawkins team just always seems to be the most interesting one at the end of the day in these, like even in season 3, I think that the team of, who was it? Robin, Steve, Dustin, and Erica were like my favorite. They were holding it down. There are so many theories for what's going to happen in the last 2 episodes, and I'm scared. All I know is, we might come back to regret saying this, but all I know is if Max dies, I'm no longer watching Stranger Things, because Max, that's my girl. She is my favorite character, has been since season 2. When Max came along, I was like, that's my girl. I even bought her book. And so if she dies, I'm no longer watching Stranger Things. I promise you. I promise you. Absolutely not. The episodes being so long, like movie length, honestly intimidated me at first, but once I was watching them, and even the second time I watched them, and I'm sure even the 3rd time and 4th time and 5th time I rewatch it, they go by so quickly, and I think it's just because the content is good. Okay, but that's everything that I have watched recently, show-wise, and yes, let me know some of the shows that you have watched recently, or if you've watched any of the shows that I mentioned here. Give me your feelings on the seasons or the show, like whatever you have to say, let me know. Yeah, I feel like I'm watching a lot more TV and movies this year, which I love because I feel like I've always just been so behind in the past few years, but now I am catching back up and very in tune with entertainment right now. Yes, love it. But please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe and turn on alerts so you do not miss new videos, and that is everything. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!
Only live in the dreams, baby.